What's up, team? This is Frank and...
Smash it up!
How do I turn that thing off? This is a quick and dirty on Warframe. Warframe's been out since 2013 and it's grown and changed a lot over time. It's a free-to-play game, but it gets a bad rap for having so many in-game purchases. I'll clarify this a little later on, so don't leave just yet. But basically, you can pay with real money to get in-game content, and here's just a small selection of what the game has on offer. And what do you do with this down payment on a house? Avatar and gear you just bought? Well, you'll drop it into an arena and jump, shoot, slash, and glow your way to the objectives. Warframe defies simple genre lines with its variety of content, and this can be very overwhelming for new players. Yet the game also relies on procedurally generated maps and grinding rare and needed materials, which makes the game underwhelming once you've played a few hundred hours. Not that I've made it that far in the game. Yes, I've sunk over 100 hours intermittently for the past few years, but I'm barely even scratching the surface. Luckily, you don't need to pay any real money to feel cool. You can mostly get the same experience for free, only you have to start at the bottom. So let's get started. You first have to select between 3 Warframes, the Excalibur, Mag, or Volt. This game too has a gotta catch 'em all vibe where you'll want to craft each one of these other Warframes just to try out the various unique skills and stats. You'll be taking orders from the Lotus as she guides you through some early quests throughout the solar system. When you arrive at a new planet or satellite, you'll need to complete all the blue diamonds and eventually forge a path to the next junction. These junctions connect you to the next planet and the next series of blue diamonds. Once you've met the requirements for the junction, you'll have to face an AI Warframe which is blocking your path. I've been told that any Warframe can beat the game, but whoever made this claim clearly never met anyone as bad as I am. Some of these battles were tremendously difficult until I found out that I could cheese my way through each junction with the Mag Warframe. You see, one of the Mag's abilities can magnetize the enemy, causing projectiles like their own bullets to get pulled right back into them. This move was just too good, and the AI never found a way to counter it. Each Warframe has a unique set of 4 skills, and they come in regular and the more powerful and rare Prime varieties. And all these Warframes, weapons, and companions you craft or purchase can be leveled up to 30 max. I found myself looking forward to forging new Warframes and gear since it always meant I was doing something with my time. I knew I'd be playing through the same mission types like assassination, capture, and defense on the same procedurally generated maps, so having new things to try and level up was really the only thing pushing me forward. That is, if I could get any new Warframes or gear. Many new players will max out their starter gear and then head to the market only to see that everything costs platinum. Platinum is the in-game premium currency, which costs real-life dollars, but this is a little misleading. The blueprints for many of these items can be purchased with credits, which you collect all the time when you're killing enemies and looting treasures. But the option to buy blueprints without real-life money is hidden within the item purchase screen. You can also filter the market to show only items with blueprints to speed up your search. And each blueprint will have various materials which you must have before you can even forge the item. And once you've spent enough time gathering these rare and exotic materials and are finally allowed to forge the thing, Rhino will use Rhino Stomp and freeze your newly forging Warframe for 3 days. Damn. I mean, I guess it's reasonable that the forge would take 3 days to build something crazy like a nimble body of armor for space, but the game also allows me to spend platinum to rush the process. Anyways. Okay, with my Warframe and gear done, I can start leveling up again. Except when I don't have enough inventory space. You see, the game limits your inventory and requires you to purchase more slots with platinum. That means you can only carry more stuff by paying real money or by selling rare materials to other people in-game for platinum. Also, inventory space is compartmentalized in that weapons and Warframes have 2 separate inventory compartments, and each one needs to be upgraded independently with platinum to increase capacity. Damn. But whatever, you sell some old gear and now you have some space. Leveling up new weapons, Warframes, and companions is the only way to increase your mastery rank. Once you fill this mastery bar, you can take on a challenge which can only be attempted once per day. These challenges aren't just feats of strength either, you'll also have to prove your prowess in hacking terminals and accuracy shooting and more. Increasing your mastery rank unlocks new gear to try, and maxing new gear will increase your mastery rank, and thus you see the gameplay loop. So I mentioned earlier that Warframes have signature moves and abilities, and some are wildly flamboyant and confusing, and this can be a problem, especially for newer players. When I had little knowledge of what a Warframe did, I constantly got distracted by, say, these summoned red allies or shadowy summoned Necros mobs, since I kept mistaking them for enemies. Even some of the companions can look remarkably similar to the enemy. But whatever, having all that cool stuff doesn't make you a better player. Mods make you a better player. Mods augment your Warframe and equipment, but even the game admits that this can be overwhelming at the start, especially for new players, so luckily there's an auto-install button. But how hard can this be? I mean, I played countless RPGs in my day. I can handle some mods with a couple of numbers on them. But damn, what are these polarities, and why is this mod flawed, and how do I get corrupted in Prime mods, which are apparently amazing? If you want to play Warframe, you'll need to feel comfortable asking other people for help in-game, as well as search wikis and YouTube videos to examine exactly how to do things and when and where to do it. The amount of information out there is quite staggering, and many new players can get overwhelmed because of this huge information wall they need to surmount. For example, to change things up during my grind for materials, I wanted to play a few missions on the free roaming maps. Only when I played online with other players, they were able to use their arc wings, which allowed them to fly around safely and with much greater speed and grace than my tumbling and bumbling grounded Warframe. Now, I know I own an arc wing because I've played several different missions in open space, so how the heck do I employ it here? Well, I had to do some research, and apparently I needed an arc wing launcher segment, which I could only get by researching in a clan dojo, and luckily I was invited to a random clan a few days prior, but when I finally visited the dojo, I needed a bunch of items that I could only scavenge from the open plains. So I went ahead and did this for a few hours, and finally went back to the dojo to replicate the damn Archwing launcher segment, and now I needed to bring it to my ship and craft it in my forge. And then Rhino stomps the damn thing. Guess I'll just wait until tomorrow. But then I installed the Archwing launcher segment only to realize that now I needed to forge the real thing, which requires even more scavenging. Plus, now I needed to learn how to fish since this futuristic tech can only run on fish oils. And when I finally got the materials I needed, I went to my forge and... damn! Yes, Warframe has a built-in codex which is rife with information about the game, but alt-tabbing and doing searches online will be your best option. And then sometimes in your research you will learn about some other things that you had no idea you were missing out on. Like while I was researching mods, I learned that some important and rare mods and gear are only available through syndicates. Apparently once you reach a minimum mastery rank of 3, you can pledge to do some missions while repping a syndicate's emblem. Doing so gets you access to some rare goods, but you guessed it, this takes a very long time to grind and it gets rather expensive to level up your standing. And to top things off, syndicates like and despise each other, so leveling up one is sure to have some collateral damage. And when you make a syndicate angry, you'll have all this negative friendship to grind and spend time improving if you want to have access to the rare goods only that syndicate has on offer. Damn. And that's it. That's all I can currently tell you about Warframe. In the end, the game provides an insanely huge amount of content that easily rivals a AAA game experience. Over time, you'll have access to multiple mission types, warframes, weapons, companions, cosmetics, planets, colors, free roaming open worlds and space environments, and metropolitan city centers. And it's also hard to fault the game for some of the things that I found annoying, like the hidden free option for items, the inventory limit which could only be expanded with platinum, making you wait hours to days to use the item you started forging, and the crazy grind needed for gear that I wasn't willing or able to pay real money for. I mean, the game is free. They have to make their money somehow, and my obsessive compulsive disorder, which requires me to 100% all the gear as well as collect and display all my mastered stuff, really shouldn't dissuade you from trying the game. However, just because the game is free doesn't mean it's perfect, and chief amongst my complaints are some of the user interface options the developers chose to implement. Like, check this out. Sometimes I like to play solo, but I had a heck of a time finding out that solo play option is located here under this wireframe sphere. And as I mentioned earlier, there's this auto mod installer in the game, but this option isn't intuitively placed. Check this out. First, you need to go to the arsenal, not the mod machine, and then hover over the item and select upgrade. Then click on this action button in the bottom right and now select auto install mods here. And then you have to do this manually for each piece of gear you are wearing. And to add insult to injury, the first time you start using a new piece of gear, it will only have enough energy for 1 or 2 mods. As you level up, more energy becomes available, which means that you'll have to repeat this step virtually each time something levels up. Damn. Maybe there's a faster way to do this, but you know what? For the life of me, I don't want to alt-tab and find out right now. Also, the enemy AI is not too impressive. Mostly the game boils down to the same repetitive, endless swarms of enemies who either overwhelm you in sheer numbers or become such bullet sponge Goliaths that they'll take roughly 2 hours to defeat with your mosquito tier attacks. Luckily, the developers compensate for these shortcomings in other ways. Like when you're offered a choice in rewards, the game will show you which ones are rare and how many you already own, so that you can always pick the one you want or need, and that's pretty convenient. Also, loot-filled lockers and treasures as well as collectible things will give a quick flash to help identify them against the background, and this makes scavenging for materials, especially in the open plains, a lot easier. It's these small details as well as others that makes Warframe's core gameplay of grinding, collecting, and replaying levels a little more manageable. If you're looking for an expansive game with a large and thriving community that features gun and melee play with a variety of mission types, quests, and landscapes, you will find a lot of value in Warframe, and the experience is always better with friends. If you're looking for a game with a concrete ending that walks you through its labyrinth of systems and menus in a meaningful and intuitive way without you needing to scour the internet for answers, then you'll want to steer clear of Warframe. Lastly, Ortis sucks. This little guy periodically bothers you with one of his recorded quips, and I got tired of them pretty quickly. Also, he's apparently malfunctioning and will make these bizarre and uncomfortable comments which the game could definitely do without.
What idiot wrote this mess?
And if you've played the game, let me know in the comments what you think. And remember, this was a quick and dirty on Warframe.